Kyrie Irving highlighting the NBA's vaccine issues. Irving did not attend the Nets media day today because of New York City's vaccine protocols. And he wouldn't address if he expects to play at home, saying he wanted to keep his vaccination status private, saying he wanted to keep his vaccination status private, saying he wanted to keep his vaccination status private. A report in Rolling Stone looked into the hold the anti-vaccine contingent currently has over the NBA and notes that Irving has been liking and following conspiracy theorists online, alleging secret societies implanting vaccines to connect Black people to a master computer for, quote, a plan of Satan. For real. While his aunt suggested Irving could skip Nets home games this season.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, thank you so much. Thank you for being here tonight and for doing what you do. Can I just get your reaction to Kyrie Irving's statement?
I can't accept Kyrie Irving's statement. He's hiding behind procedure here. Either you understand what's going on and you're going to do the right thing, or you don't understand what's going on and you're going to continue to create all this confusion with your stance.
How are you health-wise? Is that 100%? And secondly, we can only presume that you're not joining us right now because of vaccination. I'm curious, is that accurate? And if so, or do you expect to be either vaccinated or compliant in time by the time you guys come back from LA after that postseason game, after the preseason game?
Yeah, no, Brian, I appreciate your questions, bro. Honestly, I like to keep that stuff private, man. I'm a human being first. Honestly, I like to keep that stuff private, man. I'm a human being first. Honestly, I like to keep that stuff private, man. I'm a human being first. And obviously, living in this public sphere, it's just a lot of questions about what's going on in, in the world of Kyrie, and I think I just would love to just keep that private and handle it the right way with my team and go forward together with a plan. So, obviously I'm not able to be present there today, but that doesn't mean that I'm putting any limits on the future of me being able to join the team. And I just want to keep it that way so we can keep that private.
First of all, you don't get the vaccine for yourself. You get it for other people.
No, I'm not saying.
Hold on for a second. You said your piece.
No, I didn't say you do.
I got vaccinated. I can't wait to get the booster. You don't get vaccinated just for yourself. Like Adam said, you get vaccinated for your family first. You get vaccinated for your teammates second, things like that. That's what bothers me about this whole thing. I think everybody should get vaccinated. And let me tell you something. I really am proud of the Nets for putting their foot down, for saying, no, we're not going to deal with this half on, half off. The only thing that bugged me, he's still going to make $17 million sitting at home. I wish they could find a way, if he wants to go on this thing, like, people say he's like Ali. First of all, don't ever compare anybody to Ali. Ali went 3 years without boxing. He was the highest paid athlete in the world. This guy going to make $17 million for sitting at home.
I try not to belittle another man's opinion. However, let me tell you what I think. In this game of ours, sometimes you have to think about other people rather than yourself. Now, Kyrie has his views, he has his opinions. I'm not going to knock that. But he does have an obligation because he took that $200 million.
Right.
Only thing I don't like it is, can you respect my privacy? Once you sign up for this life, there is no privacy. And you have to accept it. But if you're on my team and you can't play home games, I don't want you around. Like, we have a chance to win. And if you ain't on the program, go somewhere else, period. Hey, whatever your reasons are, cool, I'm with that, but we ain't going to be going back and forth for 41 games, whether you're going to play or not. Get your ass up out of here.
Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers says he got the COVID vaccine. He also said a lot of his teammates have not, and he believes it's a personal decision. He's not going to judge them for it. Rodgers says a lot of research went into his decision to get vaccinated.
Are you vaccinated, and what's your stance on vaccinations?
Yeah, I've been immunized. There's a lot of conversation around it, around the league, and a lot of guys who have made statements, and I've made statements, owners who made statements. There's guys on the team that haven't been vaccinated. I think it's a personal decision. I'm not going to judge those guys. There's guys that have been vaccinated that have contracted COVID. So it's an interesting issue that I think we're going to see played out the entire season.
We have breaking news. Aaron Rodgers has tested positive for COVID-19. As Tom Pelissero reported, he will be out Sunday versus the Chiefs. The Packers are 7-1. Stephen A., we'll go around the table starting with you. Your reaction?
Well, it's unfortunate. I mean, it's not major. Well, it's unfortunate. I mean, it's not major. Well, it's unfortunate. I mean, it's not major. The 7-1. If they were to lose the game to Kansas City, which, by the way, I'm not sure they will. We'll see what Jordan Love's made of. But it's just one game. They'd be 7-2, worst case scenario. If this were an injury that was going to leave him out for weeks or whatever, that's fine. But he just out because he got the Rona. But he just out because he got the Rona. But he just out because he got the Rona. I mean, that's what it is. He got the Rona. He came down with the Rona, hanging around with the Raw team, probably Pat McAfee. For all we know. I love Pat. I'm just playing around. No, but Pat around. I mean, listen, I'm watching Pat on SmackDown. I told you doing a good job, but you hanging around with a bunch of people now. I mean, Pat McAfee's around a lot of people. Okay, so I'm just saying, even though that was a video interview that he did with Aaron Rodgers, as opposed to being in person, I'm just saying you got the Rona somehow, some way. Could happen to any of us. We got the Rona.
Back to the craziest thing you said.
He got the Rona.
Go back to the craziest thing you said, which is this is not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal to me either.
Maybe back shows, Kimberly.
It's not a big deal to me either.
So why are you looking at me like that?
Keyshawn agrees with you.
No, I'm saying is you looking at me like you looking at me, but you just looking at him with the regular look. You know what I'm saying? You just getting the regular look. You looking at me like I'm crazy.
Wait, because it's just one game?
So 3.5 weeks ago, you said it amounts to betrayal for Kyrie. You said, quote, flat out stupid as relates to what he's doing. Quote, bad teammate. Quote, selfish. October 16th on CNN. To the hell with you.
The Kyrie Irving situation, what do you think? He's benched.
Well deserved. The mandate is in New York. It's in LA now. It's in San Francisco. If this man does not get vaccinated, he would be violating the mandate, and as a result, he would miss 41 home games for the Brooklyn Nets, plus a couple of games at Madison Square Garden against the New York Knicks, plus a game in LA, plus a game in San Francisco. That amounts to about 44 to 45 games. I'm sorry, if you can't take a vaccine that over 6.2 billion people in the world have already taken, trying to claim that you think there's some kind of conspiracy going on, and you want to be that defiant and leave the rest of your team hanging, the Kevin Durant's, the James Harden of the world, when you are clearly the favorite to win the title. As far as I'm concerned, the hell with you. As far as I'm concerned, the hell with you. As far as I'm concerned, the hell with you.
You say all these things about Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie Irving was very upfront and honest about what his situation was. He wasn't jeopardizing anybody else. He didn't put anybody else on the Brooklyn Nets and their team at risk. When he was allowed to be around the team, he had his mask on. He abided by all the rules. But he was subject to mass criticism by you, animated criticism by you. And then I'm in the green room, and I watch you, and I see your points that you had against Aaron Rodgers, and I appreciate the stance by calling him a liar. I just didn't feel the same venom.
How bad does Aaron Rodgers look this morning?
Well, we all know where I stand with Aaron Rodgers. I'm the one that coined the phrase, he's a bad man, because he is. I think as a talent, one could easily say he's the greatest talent at the position. I know this. This is one of the hardest days I've ever had because I got that much love for this brother as a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers looks very bad today for all the wrong reasons. Aaron Rodgers is a liar. Period. He lied through his teeth with a smirk on his face regarding a matter that is very, very serious. Let's understand something here, okay? And I openly admit to Keyshawn and Jay, I'm about to lose my mind over this because if I hear one more dude talk to me about privacy, two things that gets on my damn nerves about this. Privacy, and I need to do my research. Really? How long has COVID existed?
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
It's been
2 years.
What
2 years in
what
February.
the hell do you mean? What have you been doing? If research is that important to you, you had the season stopped March 11th last year because of COVID. Restarted in January. That's 4 months. That's 4 months right there. This is before the vaccine came down. But you had 4 months to do some research. Then after that, there was bubble play from late July to October. Then you had 2 more months before last season happened. And then you had last season that went from December to July. You play basketball for a living. How much time do you need to research? That's number one. Then you got these guys with the privacy thing. Well, listen to this. I agree with that. I'm not disagreeing with that. I don't have a right to look at your medical records and see your medical history. No, I'm not saying that. But if you can contaminate me with COVID,
I need to know.
I do have a right to know
Fair point.
if you vaccinated or not.
I didn't feel the same energy that was associated with Kyrie Irving. And a part of me wonders why. How come you don't hold Aaron Rodgers to the same, who lied on national, looked reporters in the eye and said, yeah, I'm immunized.
Okay.
Why not? I don't understand that.
I can answer it. You ready?
Yes.
Well, first of all,
I came here to hear your answer.
Okay, well, first of all, number one, I wasn't sitting across from you talking about Aaron Rodgers. I was sitting across from Bart Scott and Dan Orlovsky, who both agreed with me. You and I were arguing, so that might have had something to do with my intensity level to answer that question directly. That's number one. Number two, let's go down the list about what I'm saying, because, again, I've been on the record. Aaron Rodgers is a liar. Aaron Rodgers to be suspended. Period. I don't know how much stronger I can be than that.
Okay.
Now, that's number three.
I heard Bart say he should be suspended. I heard you tack on that. I didn't heard you lead.
All right.
No, I hear you, but listen to me. Right. When you set arguments now, when you feel passionately about something, you would say he should be suspended.
No. What I'm saying to you is that you and I were getting into an intense argument. Bart Scott, myself, and Dan Orlovsky were agreeing with one another. So what I'm saying is the level of intensity, which is what you brought up, since you were questioning my lack of intensity.
Yes.
I'm telling you why. Now I'm back with you again. Do I sound like I sound with Bart?
It sounds like you're passionate now, like you care.
Because I'm sitting across from you. So again, to make my point, I feel that way about Aaron Rodgers. But let me tell you what the difference is, because you and I, see, this is where everybody gets confused about. They act like we talking about the vaccine. No, we weren't talking about it. The argument was, and to some degree it has something to do with the vaccine, do I believe that Kyrie Irving owes Kevin Durant and James Harden them to be there? You damn right. That's where you and I disagree.
You say all these things about Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie Irving was very upfront and honest about what his situation was. Mm-hmm. He wasn't jeopardizing anybody else. He didn't put anybody else on the Brooklyn Nets and their team at risk. When he was allowed to be around the team, he had his mask on. He abided by all the rules. But he was subject to mass criticism by you, animated criticism by you. Mm-hmm. And then I'm in a green room, and I watch you, and I see your points that you had against Aaron Rodgers, and I appreciate the stance by calling him a liar. I just didn't feel the same venom.
How bad does Aaron Rodgers look this morning?
Well, we all know where I stand with Aaron Rodgers. I'm the one that coined the phrase, he's a bad man, because he is. I think as a talent, one could easily say he's the greatest talent at the position. I know this. This is one of the hardest days I've ever had because I got that much love for this brother as a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers looks very bad today.
Tim, should Rodgers be suspended?
Listen, is what he did misleading, what he said misleading, the way he acted? Is it what you would want out of a franchise quarterback and a role model to a lot of young people? Absolutely not. Should he be suspended? Well, I don't think so at all, because if he is, where do you draw the line? So do you draw the line if you're misleading? Well, then guess what? Most coaches are going to get suspended. Do you draw the line in lying? Most people are going to be suspended. You can't do it just based on something that you're passionate about or that's a hot topic or something that's important now. If you suspend someone for lying, you suspend everybody for lying. We can't pick and choose what it is. And so I don't think that you could say, hey, we're suspending Aaron Rodgers because he lied. Do you know how many people, when they step in front of the cameras, lie? Right? So now we're just going to pick and choose which ones we care more about that we can suspend. Like, obviously, it's not right. Obviously, I'm not trying to condone that. But if you say lying is where you get suspended, then guess what? There's going to be a lot of people that are going to get suspended.
Stephen A., that's a great point. What do you think?
Tim Tebow, I respectfully disagree. And everybody knows how I feel about Aaron Rodgers, how fond I am of him. I'm a huge, huge fan, maybe the biggest fan of Aaron Rodgers. But I was incredibly disappointed about this. And I don't get caught up in the vax or unvaccinated. I don't get caught up in all of that when I'm talking about Kyrie Irving. I'm just talking about him and not being available to teammates he lured to Brooklyn. That's what I'm talking about. In the case of Aaron Rodgers, here's what I would say to you. Did he lie? Some people could say no. He was deliberately deceitful because he knew by using the word immunized that the media would assume that he meant, yes, he was vaccinated. Well, guess what? They did. Because here's the reality. When you expose yourself to other players, like we've seen him talking to Kyler Murray and other players who may not have been on your team and may have thought you were vaccinated when in fact you were not, you've now, according to the science, officially endangered somebody else. And that's the point that we're trying to make here. We're not talking about lying. We're not talking because we know people lie all the time. We know coaches lie, players lie, executives lie. We're not talking about that. We're talking about context in terms of what you lied about. You lying about something might be your personal business. You don't feel it's somebody else's business. You don't feel they have a right to know. But when that level of information is something you deny the opportunity for somebody else to know, and then you put them in a position, according to the science, that has endangered them potentially. Now that becomes a bit more serious because there's a level of responsibility that you haven't touched on. If you're that guy, Aaron Rodgers, and you've elected to give people the impression that you were vaccinated when in fact you were not. And I think that's got to be taken into consideration. We've got a situation, Tim, I'm not trying to bring this up because my God, I just pray for the families of everybody involved and pray for Ruggs as well with the horrific accident that he got in. I'm quite sure he didn't mean to kill somebody, man. But the bottom line is this. You on the road and you going 156 miles an hour or something like that, well, my God, that's going to be taken into consideration as opposed to somebody who wasn't inebriated and wasn't going at that speed and then got into an accident that harmed somebody. Context matters. When you do that, I can't even tell you if Aaron Rodgers wasn't playing football and he wasn't around people, that would be different. But to know what the situation was, to know what the safety protocols were, and to know that you were in violation of it, and you did it anyway, deceitfully, I think that warrants a suspension. And by the way, some volunteer work at one of these hospitals with a bunch of COVID patients. I really do.
No, but that's a very different argument than saying, hey, we need to suspend him for lying. That's suspending him for breaking the rules. And I honestly don't know what rule. I honestly don't know exactly what rules he broke. But honestly, in my opinion, if the NFL's evaluating it, then they shouldn't have let it get to week 7, 8. If he's breaking the rules, why didn't you hear something about it week 1, week 2, week 3? To me, yes, it's a little bit on Aaron, but it's also on the NFL. If you're going to set rules, then make everyone abide by those rules. And then if whatever he's breaking, then, and I don't know exactly what rules of who you're allowed to talk to, when you're allowed to, because there's 462 rules on this. And so I don't know exactly the rules, but then that's got to be where you could suspend someone.
Tim,
is
you got
for
me.
Knowing and then breaking those rules.
You got me, Tim, because here's the point that you made that I just picked up on. I take back everything that I say. I take back everything that I say. I take back everything that I say.
I realize I'm in the crosshairs of the woke mob right now, so before my final nail gets put in my cancel culture casket, I think I'd like to set the record straight on so many of the blatant lies that are out there about myself right now. Some of the rules to me are not based in science at all. They're based purely in trying to out and shame people, like needing to wear a mask at a podium when every person in the room is vaccinated and wearing a mask. Makes no sense to me.